Hello everyone. This week I'm going to send out a challenge and we'll look at these challenges at our Friday feedback. But if you want, why don't we start with the 4-value study and let's walk through our entire process together with this little study. If you want to continue to do your own painting, please go ahead. But I would really like to encourage everybody to come along with this, because it's one thing to hear the material, but to execute it is really where the understanding comes from. So let's have a look at some of the different components here. If we look at this sunflower, we see that the lightest thing is the yellow in light, right? The yellow petals in light facing us. The next lightest thing, other than the stem, is going to be the green in light. And then we have the background, and we have the shadow of the yellow and the shadow of the green, excuse me. So let's look at that green shadow to start with. Can everybody see that green shadow? So I've outlined it in red here. And when I talk about good shapes, so this is the shape of the green leaves or petals opening up for the petals of the flower in shadow. Pretty interesting shape, yeah? And that's what we consider organic shapes. So we want to take these shapes and make sure they describe that this flower is going around. So we have our dark shape. So that's going to represent your darkest dark, your number 4 value. Okay, can you see that now? And it's hard to see that shape unless you get going right working on it. And again, we're not copying, but I want you to see what's happening. If we look at the yellow flower in shadow, then that's another shape. Okay, it's not perfectly even all the way around, is it? Again, very interesting. And you see there's one main shape and then a dot, dot, dot on each end. Kind of let go a little bit. So again, our yellow in shadow. The yellow in shadow. So we've had the shadow of the green, the shadow of the yellow flowers. Now if we look at the background, that's another shape, isn't it? Okay, sometimes we don't think of the background as a shape, but that's definitely a shape, right? And that background shape is going to hold our subject, our light and our dark. So the light, let's make sure the light is lighter than this, and our dark's darker than this. Okay, does that help you guys see the shapes and the different pieces of this painting? Okay, so all we have left is the light then. If we look at the light shape of the yellow leaf, we'll get a shape something like that. Let's look at that shape. Again, you feel the energy in there, and there's no fence building here. Again, we're not about to copy, but I just want to point out that you're not seeing what you think you see. You don't see a bunch of leaves or petals lined up in a perfect little circle around the thing. It takes on a more organic shape. Okay, so the light yellow. I'm going to leave you to find the light green on your own. Okay, so those are the components. Those are the components we're going to use to construct our 4 values. So let's analyze the sunflower, what's happening here. The sunflower is nothing more, right, than a circle turned on its side, and it's kind of a cone. It heads inside, and then the green leaves this all sits inside of, or is cradled by, this cup of green leaf, right? And then that's held in place by the stem. So then let's look at what we've got with our abstract energies then, what's happening. These are pretty straight up and down if we went through the center of those, aren't they? And then our stem is almost straight to the side. Okay, so abstractly, this is what's happening right here. The sunflower is like that. The green holding it's like, not real exciting. The stem's coming out like this. What if we took this whole thing and rotated it a little bit, so then it was more at an angle? So the sunflower could be like that. The green could be like that. The stem might come like that, or like that. Can you see how that's a much more exciting painting than those straight vertical lines? That diagonal is going to give the whole thing more energy. So I would recommend changing the angle of that flower, right? Keeping everything basically like it is, but just rotate it so that it's diagonal on your canvas. And then give that stem a better curve and more life. So analytically, it'd look something like that with the red. Okay, so this would be the shadow of the yellow, right? This would be the light of the yellow. And then you had some shadow of a green running through here. You have the light of the green. Of course, the light of the stem. And then the rest is the background. Okay, can you see it just in those components? And I want you to see these big pieces. Managing these big pieces is what it's all about. Okay, so along with this video, I've included the attachment of the illustration that you see right here. So a 4-value study is what I recommend. And see if you can't manipulate these shapes to make them more active. Give them a diagonal axis. Okay, if you can get these into me by Wednesday, Thursday, daytime at the latest, because I need time to work on them if I'm going to use them for Friday feedback. All right, so I hope you guys have a good week. Take the time and do these 4-value studies. As long as you guys are doing these, I'll take the time to put them out. But if nobody does the exercises, I'm going to quit giving them because it takes a good amount of time to put all of this together. All right, have a good week, a 4-value study, and if you have time, paint, 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 paint. And we will see you on Zoom Friday morning, 9 a.m.